Mr. Roth, do you personally think that you have a political bias, and did you have one when you worked at Twitter? A personal political bias?
No, sir.
You didn't. That's remarkable, because it's pretty obvious you did have strong biases when you compared, ironically using Twitter, people that worked in the Trump White House to Nazis. They were good folks that you simply disagreed with politically in our representative republic, and you compared them to the most evil people on the planet that murdered 60 million people, or at least were responsible for those deaths. You think that was a little bit hyperbolic?
Yes, I do. As I said, I regret the language.
I agree with you. It was.
A piece of that, Texas Congressman Pat Fallon grilling former Twitter executive Yoel Roth on Capitol Hill. He joins us live. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming back on. A lot to cover on this. I wanted to dive into your thoughts. You got to talk to these executives. What did you think?
Well, you know, what we're worried about is them collaborating and colluding with governmental agencies, because that is a violation of the Hatch Act. If that's true, that violates federal law. And also, we want to know if Joe Biden was involved in influence peddling, and if he's compromised. And if so, then he's a risk to national security, the President of the United States. So these were very weighty hearings, and that's why we needed to get them under oath, Sean, and on the record.
They are under oath, something we continue to point out here, but not a lot of recollection efforts, at least, from these executives that we watched on this broadcast. But there will be, and we spoke with one of your members earlier, there will be more hearings. Do you expect more answers?
Well, you know, when you get them under oath, when they're subpoenaed and they're under oath, yeah, I do expect the answers, but I want the truth. Yeah. I just don't want answers. I don't want them to deflect. I asked Roth directly yesterday, who was a Twitter executive, and I said, is it true that you received 10 confidential documents from FBI agent Elvis Chan the day before the Hunter Biden laptop story was killed, where it went live and then it was killed? And he said, yes, but they didn't relate to the laptop story. I find that hard to believe, and that's why we have them under oath. So now we have it on record, Sean, and we are going to go where the evidence leads us from here on out.
Some say that hearing backfired on Republicans. Do you have a response to that, Pat?
You know what? That's liberal fantasy land. That is not true at all. They have to spin it some way, because this is again, substantive issues. This is what they don't want the general public to know. There's something called an SAR, which is a suspicious activity report. Those are generated when people like Bernie Madoff do awfully fishy things and then eventually criminal things. It leads to it. And if you get one or two in your lifetime, that would be rather odd. The Biden family has 150 SARs, and we haven't been given access to those. And so I hope that Chairman Comer, I suspect that he will, subpoena them and demand from the DOJ release them. So if Joe Biden has nothing to hide, then why don't you just release the SARs and let us look at them?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We continue to follow this story as we continue to air, again, those committee hearings. They will continue. Congressman Pat Fallon joining us live. Congressman, always great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care.